I spent my first YouTube paycheck on broken smartphones. Do I regret this decision? Just a little. So while channels my size usually don't earn a bunch of money, I've actually managed to bring in a solid amount of revenue. I cashed out $231 for my first paycheck, which I never imagined would happen. With that money in hand, I wanted to finally replace my dead PH1 and crippled LG G6. I was pretty tired with LG phones, and I still don't care much for Samsung, so I set my sights on getting a OnePlus 6. What I ended up buying was something not entirely different than a OnePlus 6, but definitely not something most people would be excited for. Like, if you were to ask me what I want for Christmas, it's going to be computer or phone parts. I found a listing for a lot of two OnePlus 6Ts that looked to be functional, besides having broken displays and missing parts. I didn't initially jump on it, but the seller kept dropping the price, and I ended up pulling the trigger. I also bought a replacement screen, some screws, a SIM tray, and a replacement back glass. The money I had left over went to some ongoing projects that you guys will see soon enough. Anyways, after a few days, I received the phones. The packing material used was a bit insulting, but it's eBay. What do you expect? Taking a closer look at the devices showed that they are indeed OnePlus 6Ts, but I was a bit annoyed at the broken antenna connector on one of the logic boards, but the cosmetic condition was acceptable. The frame on both are a bit beaten up, but nothing was too out of the ordinary. Given my experience with trying to replace an antenna connector on a Poco phone, I chose to repair the other phone first. This phone was supposed to be an unlocked 256GB model, but the seller must have gotten them mixed up because, as you'll see in a moment, it matches neither of those descriptions. Anyways, after struggling to remove the broken screen, I tested out the phone and it worked. I cleaned the frame with some alcohol, and after finally gluing the screen onto the frame, the phone no longer displayed anything. The display connector looked to be just fine, but some gold in the contacts looked to be missing. I tried another subboard, but that did little to solve my issue, so I got a refund and bought another display. The next display I got looked nothing like the pictures and was a cheap knockoff. I bought another display and the same thing happened where the picture showed what I wanted, and I even asked the seller to confirm, but I still received something entirely different. After my experience with these sellers on eBay, I ended up with a display from Amazon that looked close to OEM. The only issue it seemed to have was that it didn't quite fill the entirety of the frame. Anyways, I tested it, glued it to the phone, secured everything into place, and I closed it all up with this awesome clear back glass. I could have done this myself, but since I needed to buy a new one anyway, I just saved myself the trouble. Being done with hardware for now anyway, I moved on to messing with software. T-Mobile is a pain when it comes to network unlocks, so I converted to an international ROM and ran some commands to network unlock and gain dual SIM functionality. After I used the phone for a week or so, I noticed a few issues, so let's get those sorted out. For one, the loudspeaker was horribly distorted, the selfie cam accumulated a massive amount of dust, and the main cameras, even after a good cleaning, had some blemishes. I also ordered a new battery. I don't think this was necessary just given that the battery life I was getting was really solid, but the original battery had a bunch of physical defects that didn't look great with the transparent glass, so that's the main reason as to why I replaced it. After receiving the second round of parts, I removed the back glass and got to work. I took off the top plastic and cleaned the selfie camera. I used some scrap foam from another project and placed it where the camera was to ensure that there is no gap for dust to get into. I replaced the battery with what I'm hoping is an OEM one, and I then secured the new speaker into place after transferring the vibration motor. After attempting to test the phone, there was a line going down the side and the entire bottom section of the display was blank. I tried reseating every flex cable, but it was clear what had actually happened. I had purchased a set of screws that happened to have the size I needed. Some longer screws might have escaped and I set those to the side, but I realized that when I was trying to screw in a screw for the speaker, it wouldn't stop turning. It was until later when I realized that I had used the wrong length screw and damaged the OLED. I wasn't recording when all of this happened, but the screen as of now is entirely gone. I bit the bullet and bought another display, which I really hate to do, but it is what it is. I got the new display installed along with the new camera setup and sealed everything up once more. Something I noticed was that the display didn't seem to be sitting entirely on the frame. For now, if nothing's moving around, I'm fine, but I'm probably going to come back to this some other time and make sure the display is properly seated. Anyways, that's how I spent my first YouTube paycheck on broken phones. I plan on fixing the other logic board at some point and approach restoring the phone a bit differently so I don't end up breaking anything. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave a like and make sure you're subscribed and have notifications enabled for more quality tech videos. If you have any questions or suggestions, let me know down below in the comment section and I'll do my best to get back to you. Anyways, thanks for watching and I'll see you later.